Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Cancer in August 2019. Hello, Cancer. How are you doing? I hope you guys are doing well. All right, guys. Welcome to August, huh? Oh, just a second. That and that. Something like that. That pleases me more than it did 2 seconds ago. Anyway, Cancer, how's your summer going? How's everything going in your life? I hope everything's going well. Hope your summer's going well. Hope your year's going well. Hope your life is going well. Your money, your finances, your love, and your relationships. Hope everything is great. Always well-wishing for everybody. But this is life. This is reality. Maybe it's not so good. But we'll find out today. Maybe there's some good messages here for you in the reading. We'll see. Cancer, I've shuffled off camera to save time a little bit. That's your main spread there. We'll shuffle now on camera for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up, that's when the reading begins. In the description box below, you will see a timestamp if you want to jump ahead. Also, down in the description box is the information you need if you choose to get a personal reading with me. You just follow those steps. You do your part. I do my part. Everybody's a happy camper. And we will, be best of buds. Kidding, of course. But if you think you would be interested in getting a personal with me, all that information is down below. If you have a question before you place an order, you can email me at the same address and I will answer you as soon as I can, okay? Anything else? Yes, please make sure that you are liking, that you are sharing, subscribing, and commenting, and doing all those fabulous things that YouTube allows you to do here. Keeps my content in circulation, gets more people exposed or knowing of the channel and the content that I have here, and it allows me to grow as a content creator here, as a reader here on YouTube. So if you want to help me out in any of that, you can do any and all of those things, and I would gladly appreciate it, okay? All right, Cancer, let's see what's going on for you. Let's get an outcome for Cancer in August 2019. I want to see Cancer's outcome in August 2019. Please show me. Whoa. I don't know if you can see. It's kind of like oddly under my finger here. I'm trying to see if this is what we want. This is what we want. This is what we want. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the overall. It actually came face down, but I flipped it already. But bottom of the deck is the overall energy. And let's flip what's remaining on the table for you. Oh boy. And let's see what's shaking, bacon. God, I can't believe I said that. I think I've said that like once or twice before, and I always hate it when I say it. Anyway, let's see what's going on. Please show me where... That's a little crooked. Let it go, let it go. Okay. Yep. All right, please show me where Cancer is in August 2019. Please show me Cancer in August 2019. Please show me. Whoop, okay. A little bit of a tug on the neck again. It's been a while since that's happened, so, but it wasn't the worst it's been. Anyway, coming into August, you guys, you come in with the King of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You might be dealing with fire sign, but as you heard in my little mini meditation, I asked where you are, Cancer. So this is probably an energy that you're embodying right now. And I gotta say, you a bit of a boss, okay? King of Wands, very accomplished, very smart and compassionate, creative, fiery, just like a lust for life, a go-getter type of energy, but then also playing it cool, The look on that lion's face is very much keeping it cool. Fonzie, Danny Zuko, like those are two like very repetitive visuals of like a greaser, cool dude, leather jacket, the T-birds and all that stuff. So like being cool, kind of being the leader of a pack, or like this rebel without a cause, like able to stand on your own 2 feet and not really answer to anybody, but then like secretly being like a romantic, or secretly at heart being like sensitive. Hey Sandy, it's like, especially with Grease, like the whole thing of Danny Zuko's character is summer loving, all that. He's having like this romantic tryst with Olivia Newton-John's character, And then when school time comes and they have to part ways over their little, romantic tryst over the summer, he goes back to being like this cool, aloof guy, like too cool for school, nothing bothers me, da da da. But actually, like, he really is into Sandy, right? And that's her name in the movie, right, Sandy? I've seen it like twice. But, so, you might be sort of faking the funk here a little bit, Cancer. Or you're erring on like one side of yourself. You're erring on one particular characteristic or personality trait that you have, which is kind of being fun yet aloof, confident, but kind of cocky sometimes. Or that's just like something. It could be something. Some of you are dealing with someone like this. It's weird because there's like this sensitivity underneath it all. Like, there's like a veneer going on here. There's like for lack of a better word, like a mask of confidence that you're wearing. And maybe it's to show someone else, like, I don't need you, or I don't want you like you think I want you. Just like trying to play it cool. Like trying to play it cool. But deep down inside, you give a shit. Deep down inside, you really care. Deep down inside, you really want something that the mask of the King of Wands, or the mask that the King of Wands would wear, wouldn't like foretell. Like, people might not be able to guess what you're actually after, or that you actually, like I said, give a shit. So it's kind of this, I don't feel that it's disingenuous in any type of way. I don't feel that you're not any of what I've said. You can be passionate, and you can be compassionate, and you can be a cool guy or a cool girl. You can be all these things, but then also be aloof, kind of cavalier, kind of a playboy, playgirl attitude. You can be really effusive and like wanting to, bust out into song in the middle of the movie with, Olivia Newton-John, or like, go dancing with her. Isn't there like a big dance scene with them like towards the middle? Or he was dancing with Cha-Cha, I guess. Never mind. But he was, you can do all that stuff, but then also kind of be distant and avoidant of this person. So both of these things are existing at the same time. What I do kind of connect, or not connect, but what I feel is kind of the undercurrent here is it's honest. So maybe that's it. You're finding yourself sort of caught in the middle of how you feel about someone else, whether this is romantic or otherwise. This could be about a friendship. This could be about a coworker or a family member of yours. It's like, I like them, I want to be with them, I want to spend time with them, I want to hang out with them, but I also kind of just want to be left alone, and I wish they wouldn't call me, I wish they wouldn't text me, I wish they wouldn't, try and Skype me or FaceTime me. And it's just like, but I also miss them when they don't do those things. So it's like this push-pull, tug-of-war, shadow boxing kind of thing, where it's weird. I'm gonna say that it's weird. And for you, Cancer, I think you understand this better than I do as your outside reader. Like, I kind of don't know what the rhyme or reason is here, but I think you get it. And the thing about the King of Wands, again, as an archetype, or to kind of pull it back into tarot, as an archetype, the King of Wands, like I said, would be accomplished, would be very established, would be very aware of his emotions and aware of what is intriguing him in his life, or the things that he likes, the things that he doesn't like. But he might not always express them outwardly, or he might reserve when and where he expresses his feelings, or when and where he expresses his sensitivities. He's aware of them, he possesses them, he doesn't shy away from them, but given sort of like the archetype, or excuse me, the artwork of the lion, the lion is known as the king of the jungle, right? The king of the Sahara, right? So this mighty beast that can protect a pride and all that kind of stuff, whether it's a male or female, does not matter. There's no gender here. But if like with any mighty beast, there are always like sensitivities, or like certain Achilles heels with these animals. So I'm thinking of, like, I forget what like folktale that is, or whatever it is, where there's a lion and he's mighty and he's proud and he's ferocious and all this other kind of stuff, but he's made into a lame duck because he gets a thorn in his paw, and he's like really ornery and he's really like so agitated because he has this small little thorn in his paw, which he doesn't tell other animals or what other creatures around him about. He tries, I believe in this story, he tries to hide that injury because it would make him seem weak. So is that it? Like you're hiding the vulnerable, softer side of yourself because it could be viewed as a weakness, or someone could exploit that part of you, maybe. And so now you're on guard. And that's the other thing about the King of Wands as an archetype in the tarot, is he would be fiercely defending or defensive of himself, or on guard for his own benefit and the benefit of people in his kingdom, right? So I don't necessarily, I like this for you because I think, you know, a lot of times Cancer, you can be viewed as someone that doesn't have veracity in you. But for this moment in this reading, you do have a lot of fire in your belly. And I think that's good, because the other thing about this King of Wands, last thing I'll mention before we move on, is there's a lot of self-love here. There's a lot of self-appreciation. I don't think that the King of Wands would ignore his faults, or rather push his faults to the side purely for ego. A lot of times the faults have to be pushed to the side because there's something there about loving the self, or taking care of the self, like not beating up on the self. Does that make sense? Like not wanting to blame the self. Like there's accountability, but there's also like this nuanced thing of not blaming. I don't know where that fits in per se. Ah, that's why, because right above, I look down and they're like right there, and I'm like, okay. So right above, you've got the Queen of Cups. Here you are, or rather, here's your sort of home base, water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces energy, which is sort of, you know, they're not a pair in the sense of they're the king or the queen of the same suit, but they are both the higher qualities of the court cards. And the Queen of Cups is super sensitive, super compassionate, and more sensitive than the King of Wands could ever be. So above your starting position in your consciousness, what's like present with you in your mind is this sensitivity, is this ability to be in touch with your emotions and to act from a place not of love, to kind of make it cliched and like, you know, peace, love, and, you know, all like hippie, but there is like a tender, loving care energy that comes from this Queen of Cups. I still think this is kind of a self-contained energy. Like these two coming down the middle is sort of like a spike or a stake in the middle of this reading. It's like an anchor point for me, it feels like. So on the surface, ferocity, a little tough guy action, a little Fonzie, a little Danny Zuko, whatever you want to think of. Again, rebel without a cause, all these like, and again, with all of those three characters, I don't know the character's name in Rebel Without a Cause, the one that James Dean played, but they all have like this tough veneer, like this, you know, nothing bothers me. But deep inside, as the movies or progress, and the TV and the characters show more of themselves, you get to see there's more to them. They're actually a lot more sensitive than they first appear. So this in tandem is who you are right now, okay? This tough on the outside, but, you know, soft, gooey center, big old teddy bear kind of energy. Now, what else goes with this Queen of Cups is that this is in your in your foremind. Oh my God, in the front of your mind is how I want to say that. And this is where I was at the tail end of the King of Wands. I was getting that idea of self-care, but I kind of didn't, like if I'm honest, I felt a little fumbly with that explanation. I think this is where this is coming from, because the Queen of Wands definitely is interested in self-care. She's interested in making sure that emotionally she is not in a disarray. She is not, you know, unawares or being too impulsive or being too reactionary or being overly dramatic or being overly sensitive. Like I feel when she's in her highest quality, which I think most Cancers out here are trying to do, you're trying to be a good guy or a good girl in quotation marks, right? So you're considerate. You're being considerate towards yourself. And that could be why this is more of a background energy. Like I said, I feel that King of Wands is the mask, and behind the mask sits the Queen of Cups. For whatever reason, you know, your defenses are up, but it's not in an aggressive way. I'm going to say that. I don't feel there's this aggressive feeling of needing to be defensive. I feel it's kind of passive, or I feel it's kind of in response to maybe something you've experienced recently, where you may have lost something, been in a volatile situation. I'm just like throwing that out there because I'm not really feeling too much of what brings us here with these two cards to begin with, other than I need to protect myself. So let me act a little tough. Let me put on my greaser gang hooligan mask that will hide the very sensitive, very compassionate, very emotive qualities of the Queen of Cups, which I feel is, you know, most of your regular go-to energies anyway. Anything else? Because, you know, there is a potential for this to be another person, so it could be, thank you. I'm like, is there anything else? And then I start talking about whatever else it could be. It is potential that that is another person, and that would sort of explain why you put on this protective little tough guy, little tough girl act, or persona is out there in the forefront with the King of Wands. If in your mind there's someone in particular that you feel needs protecting, that needs your guidance, or needs your helping hand, or just needs your support, or just needs you to be tough so that they don't have to bear the brunt of a situation. Okay, so we could be, again, talking family, friends, lovers, co-workers, it doesn't matter. But there's someone, some of you might feel that you need to sort of make sure they're taken care of, okay? Because the King of Wands definitely would be more of a provider. If this was a separate person, would definitely be more the providing energy, or the giving energy, or the energy that projects outward, and then the Queen would be receiving that protection from you, okay? Interesting. So what else is happening? So outside of this anchoring, again, I feel it's like staked, like it's like right down the middle. It's very focal to you right now. You would have motivation here, reasoning here. Okay, thank you. Which might sound like the same thing to some of you, but I view it slightly differently. So inspiration, isn't that what I said? See, and I forgot that quickly. Motivation, I think. Motivation? What did I say here? I forgot that quickly. That's how this freaking channeling works for me sometimes. I think I said motivation here, and reasoning. Motivation, reasoning. Maybe that's what I said. You'll know because you just heard it. But anyway, so your motivation. I think we talk about that first. Yes, thank you. So what's brewing inside of you is this issue of destiny, or traveling paths, pathway, traveling. Come on, clean that up. Walking your particular path and feeling control or guidance along the way, okay? So, yes, thank you. So, part of your motivation is the Chariot card, Major Arcana, the Chariot. This is your Major Arcana card, Cancer, so you're definitely here at least twice, especially since they're next to each other. Your energy is definitely present. Okay, this is mostly going to be about you, or you're a very key player at this point in your life, which would make sense, right? It's your life, but you get what I mean. Sometimes in life, I think, Cancer, you could understand. Sometimes in life, we put the emphasis or the focus on other people, and we kind of put ourselves in the back seat. Not really. You're definitely a part of the front seat, right? Because we have the charioteer here, the person in the center. We've got the two horses facing away from each other. And in the center down below, what is that? I love this deck because, like, there's always something new to discover, or like there's a slight detail that I've never noticed before whenever I used it. Now, it looks like some type of duck or goose type of feathers, but it could also be like the reins. I see like a rein here. It's like, this is like a Rorschach. I think that's how you say it, Rorschach. Psychological test, right? That's what part of why I like this deck. but it's entangled. This right now is hitting me as an entangled energy. Like it's hard to decipher what this is. We do have your glyph down the bottom there. That's also kind of cool. Anyway, so the charioteer, the goal with the chariot and the charioteer is to decide, is to move in a solid direction, move down a certain pathway with clarity, yeah, with feeling not certain success or anything like that, but feeling confident, right? And this often comes after careful deliberation. It also, or it often comes after we have experienced a situation that riles us up, that brings us to this point of deciding whether to go left or to go right, that brings us to a fork in the road, yeah? So you may have experienced that. Again, it's like super general. I'm not feeling this like in work, at home, family, lovers, or marriages. I'm not sure where exactly this is going to fit in your life, Cancer. It's not coming down in those specifics, so please, kind of pull it apart and take the abstraction as best you can and apply it to your life. But you've probably recently, yeah, with that hand gesture there, look at the hand on the charioteer. It's like almost like like that is sometimes a hand you get when someone is like offering something and you don't want it and you're like, oh no, thank you. But the other thing I got was like sort of like a surprise, like, oh, I didn't expect this. Like, oh, I didn't expect it. Like you walk in on something, like you walk in and you see something you're not supposed to see. And like, that's kind of like the, oh no, like I need to back out of here kind of hand. So some of you may have had recent experiences that feel that way, or you've dealt with someone who had that reaction in the situation that involves you, and there's like this need to redirect, yeah, to redirect the situation, or to redirect your body. Again, if you're walking into a room and you're not supposed to see something, you got to redirect your body, like walk right the hell out, you got to make a quick sharp U-turn or reverse so hard, and that then brings about the need for something else, for this new pathway to be plotted, yeah? So now that you've experienced something, witnessed something, realized something, if it's not something external, maybe you've had like a light bulb moment quietly to yourself, while you're lying in the dark trying to fall asleep, and you're like, oh my God, and you come to this realization. Now that has been decided, your motivation now is to move forward and be resolute in how you move forward. So for some of you, again, you witnessed something, and from that perspective of witnessing, you now know, okay, I can't sit on the fence about this, or I can't play as if I didn't see this. And that might sound a little ominous to some of you, but I'm generally not feeling an ominous thing going on here. I'm not feeling anything. I'm not getting vibes of like, oh, caution, caution, danger, danger. No, it's really this self-awareness of how you play into the situation. So some of you may have witnessed something and you realize, you know what, I've overstepped a boundary here, or I'm so deeply involved in the situation that my judgment is becoming clouded. So let me back up, or let me totally take a detour here because I'm too close to a situation. So some of you are deciding to put distance between yourself and a situation, or distance between yourself and a person, or if you're interested, like I said earlier, in trying to protect or somehow look out for the Queen of Cups, you might decide, or you might want you and the Queen of Cups, again, if they are an external person, you might say, listen, Queen of Cups, I think you and I, we can't get too involved in this, or I've seen some things. It could be like a bad deal, something like that. Like maybe you were thinking of going, like if this is your partner or something like that, or even your roommate, and there's a repair that needs to be done on the house, and you are sourcing through contractors or plumbers and electricians, whatever, and you come across like some history, like a bad review, and like several bad reviews, or like whatever, or you for some reason are on their personal social media and you realize, oh my God, the guy who's gonna come over and do work on our electric is kind of a casual racist on his social media. We cannot be in business with this person. And so you do this hand gesture of, oh, and you back up off of it. Yeah? So that's just an example of what I think you're witnessing something that isn't super detrimental, and in the best interest of you and the Queen of Cups, you're just like, let's move away from this. Or, you know, it could be sort of like a star-crossed lovers kind of situation where you feel very effusive towards the Queen of Cups, they feel effusive towards you. You guys are having this budding romance, sort of kind of like what happens in Greece a little bit. Like, you get into the flying car at the end and you fly off away from the carnival, leaving all your friends behind who, you know, down the line they might still judge you. Oh yeah, you're hanging out with Sandy over the weekend, we were gonna go do that. Like, whatever. It's like getting away from the flack or the pushback of other people. So there is sort of this cover, like I'm seeing like a cover and run away, a cover and like, or a grabbing of a hand like they do in romantic movies. Grab the hand of your lover and run out the door, run out into a rainstorm, run out and, you know, do all this stuff alone, seclusion, yeah? In the interest of what the King of Wands would want, protection, or, you know, making sure something is not taken advantage of, or not, I don't want to use that word because I think it's a little heavy. Just not seeing you and or someone else walk down a not so great path. Yeah? And the Chariot, again, is coming from this interest in being loving towards the self, towards yourself, Cancer, or towards someone else, or to the both of you at the same time. Additional part of the motivation underneath is the Magician. Pardon me. Magician. Oh, God, I'm about to blank. Secondary major arcana for Gemini and Virgo. So you might be dealing with one of them, as this card is associated with Mercury. But the Magician... God, you know, I'm sorry if you don't resonate with me, but I'm like a movie, TV person, and books a little bit too, and music. So all media, basically. And I'm immediately getting like vibes of like Planet of the Apes, right? Especially like the most recent reimagining of it. That first one had James Franco in it, and the other was who's the CGI guy? Oh God, what's his name? Oh, the guy who does Gollum from Lord of the Rings. I can't remember. Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis, right? Isn't that his name? Anyway, especially that recent rendition of the Planet of the Apes story, is this highly intelligent being that is essentially looked at as, you know, just a monkey, even though chimps are not monkeys, right? But, you know, apes rather. Or apes. Why am I bringing this up? Clear that up, please. Believing. Okay, thank you. So, this energy, the Magician energy, is about believing. That even though others view in that story, and even in the originals, I think, the apes to be, especially like Charlton Heston when he comes back down from space and he's like, all these apes are here and they're in power. He views them as lesser than, because that's his reality. That's what he always experienced chimps and apes and gorillas as, right? Just lesser beings, not capable, right? And then even in the modern take, or the most recent adaptation, you see the human characters as still thinking of the apes and the chimps as being primitive, less than. So there's a motivation here. Have you been viewed that way? Did you view yourself that way? Not capable of this, not capable of that, of being sort of relegated to a certain type of experience or a certain type of point of view. You know? Again, going back to tie it back into our bigger pop culture reference, the Grease thing. Amongst his friends, Danny Zuko is just one of the guys, one of the grease monkeys. We work on cars, we pick up chicks, we go down to the soda shop, da-da-da-da-da. You know, that. They don't know that he's like dreaming of her and wanting to be with her and all this other kind of stuff. So to a certain set of people, Danny Zuko is XYZ. To Sandy, or to even Danny himself, he's also ABC 1 2 3. He's like all these other things. So there's an expansive understanding of character in the Magician. God, we finally got there, because I'm like, they really hammered me on that ape, and that kind of would make sense. I mean, or excuse me, this, I don't even know if it would technically be a chimp, but this chimp-like primate creature, okay, we would not think of, even though if you watch just about any documentary on primates, they're very intelligent, but to the common person, do we think of that? We would not think of a primate grabbing, it's not even a beaker, what is that? Like a test tube almost, and like looking up and contemplating. Like, we really don't give them that credit. So there's this idea of, I'm gonna take misconceived impressions of me. I think this is mostly you, Cancer. If not, it's like you collectively with that Queen of Cups person. I'm going to take these misconceptions and use them for my benefit. You think I'm dumb? I will prove you I'm not dumb. You think I'm incapable of being, let's say, for example, good with money. I'm going to prove to you I'm good with money. That's just an example. I'm pulling that straight from like the front of my mind. That's not coming anywhere from a channel, right? So it's just like, I'm going to do and behave or create or achieve what other people do not believe I can achieve. Does that make sense? The Magician is quite a self-made energy typically in the tarot. The Magician creates from nothing, like is able to take nothing and create it into something, or meld it and mold it and morph it into something. Yeah. The other part traditionally about the Magician, it's not really seen here on this card, but we understand it once we get to learn the tarot, is that all of the resources that the Magician needs are already in his world. I say he only because typically there's a man, there's no gender in a general reading, so you could be female and experience this. So traditionally, the Magician has the pentacles, the sword, the wand, and the cup. All the resources, right? All the 4 elementals that we talk about in tarot, right? So within your grasp, within your environment, within your sensibilities, your personality, your already present state of being, Cancer, you're capable of traversing onto this new pathway. You're capable of utilizing whatever exists around you right now to make this new reality, or to move on to safer ground. Not safer, because again, I don't feel it's like danger, but you're able to navigate onto this path that's going to see you either by yourself, again, in this central area, could be your own self-contained energy, or it's the energy of you and another person, but you're able to really shepherd along whomever's involved here into a very, again, I don't want to say safe, because I don't feel this is a matter of danger or safety. It could be for some of you, but for the most of you, it's not that. It's not you're living in a situation or circumstances where, you know, your bodily harm or violence is in the realm of possibilities. I don't think that's a reality for most of you, but I need another word and they're not giving it to me. Again, like maybe they're like, they're using safe, because you know, like in a romantic movie, especially when like the people who are falling in love are like not supposed to fall in love, like you can't date that boy, you can't date that girl, they're from the wrong side of the tracks. Like when they're together, it's like a bubble, it's like they're in their own little bubble, like their own little cocoon. So maybe that's where this word safe is coming from, because that ultimately I think is the goal here, to keep things protected, to keep things in a safe insular space, right? This cover and move away thing that I mentioned earlier. Oh my gosh. And I think you're the driving force behind that, because I feel you're present in all 4 cards to some degree or another. Because again, I think if there is another person, they're there in the Queen of Cups, not in the other 3 cards that we've discussed so far. So this is mostly you. So you're the driving force here. You are the person that is your goal. I want things to be safe. I want things to be calm. I want things to be protective. I want things to be full of love and support and commitment with another person, or this tight bond, right, with another person. Or within myself, I want to feel tight and secure within myself. And so that's the inspiration, right? Or whatever I said before, I don't remember. Now the reasoning is over here. Now, yes, we've had a loss of some type. This guy has come up, and also the King of Wands in previous readings, and you're only the 4th sign, but these 2 have repeated. So thematically, for the collective thus far, these 2 energies are very present. Now this 5 of Cups, Cancer, typically we're talking about crying over spilled milk, and there's a silver lining here if you just turn around and see the 2 cups that are spilled or not spilled, or in this case, the 2 eggs that have not cracked, right? And that could be there. But I don't think so. I think most of you have, well, maybe, hold on. Okay. I think you're waking up to what you've done. God, that sounds so accusatory. What you've done. No, I think you're waking up to that loss, or that fixation on the loss, right? Because again, crying over spilled milk, there are 2 salvageable eggs, but there's this emphasis on the 3 that have cracked and opened, right? So what has already been lost, I think you have spent a good amount of time there, okay? You've spent a lot of energy there, especially down here. These are 2 very high energy cards, and then we have like sort of this muted, very low energy down here. So I think your focus, your emphasis has been on low energy stuff. We're going to cut that out. I feel that you're definitely ready to cut that fixation out. Now, what you have lost in terms of cups, it would have been very emotional for you, would have been very prevalent. I don't know if that's the word. Prevalent? Forward? God, that's not the word either. Come on, guys. Present. Thank you. We'll go with present. Very much a part of the core self, or the core experience that you've recently had. So this could be people that have walked out of your life, have gone away from you, you've lost touch with, or just certain tenderness or collective, what's this unity, not unity, but just like, maybe like I'm feeling like a family structure. Maybe that's it. Oh, right, nest. Got you. So obviously this is an owl, and where do eggs go? They usually go in an... Are some of you like parents, or some of you are kids, and there's like this empty nest syndrome going on where you're sad because your kids have left, or you're sad because you've left your parents, and you've had like this really like very close and nice relationship with your parentals, or even if it's other family members, like maybe you're really close with your brother and sister, and now you're moving out of the house for the first time, and you know, maybe your mid-20s and your younger sibling is like 10 or 15 years younger than you are, and so like they have to remain home while you go off and move into the big city or do whatever. This is just an example. Again, I'm not really feeling straight up this is dealing with family, this is dealing with work. It could be anywhere in your life, okay? But there's this, and that would sort of, to me, that family emptiness thing could speak to why some of you feel this need to cover and hover and protect and enclose someone who might be venturing off into the brave new world by themselves, yeah? Or for whatever reason, you can't be with them. Maybe they're taking a job that's away from you, or you have to take a job that's away from the home. So maybe you're needing to, you know, take an assignment that's going to see you on the road for the next 2-3 months or the next year, whatever it is. And you have to leave your wife and your kids at home, or your husband and your kids at home. And so there's this, oh, I wish I could swoop you guys up and take you with me. So there's that to consider. And that's kind of where I'm feeling like this, not all is lost energy for you, because this fixation on what has already hatched and opened or been cracked open and is no longer in the nest is what's the reason why you're over here doing these things with the Magician and the Chariot. You believed you lost something, or to some degree you lost it for a time, yeah, but there's still something quote unquote left behind, or something that is residual, something that exists in the background that can see, I don't want to say like revitalize, whoa, my crystal, no. That can see revitalization, because I'm not even sure that we're going to get back to whatever existed before. I think there might be a realization that something new is in its place, or something similar is in its place. Does that make sense? I mean, maybe there has been distance between you and the Queen of Cups, whoever that is. Friend, family, lover, I don't know. And maybe you've put in the work, believed in yourself, or tried to show a different side of yourself. Because again, this Magician today feels like people's perceptions of you, Cancer, they think you're capable of only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 types of things. Like they put you in this box, yeah, and you're like trying to prove, no, I'm more than that, I can do better than this, or that's only this part of me, you didn't understand or take into consideration these other sides of me. And so that might be where this revitalization word or concept is coming from, is I'm able to, gosh, right, and then being decisive about that, being sure that that is what I want people to see. This is very interesting, because obviously it's a general reading, so you guys are going to be experiencing other things, or different things, different things from each other. Now that's the reason, right? Experiencing a loss, not realizing what is salvageable, or for a time ignoring what was salvageable, and now just realizing, like just within the past couple of weeks or months, just coming into like an aha moment, like, oh, of course I could do this, or well, I did lose this much of time with them. Like again, if you're on an assignment for work that puts you out of the home for like 2, 3, 4, 5 months or something like that, feeling like you've lost your family, or feeling like things are not going to be the same because mommy or daddy is off doing whatever, but then realizing, no, that means there's more time that I can spend with my kids, that means there's this that we can do, and like kind of changing your perspective a little bit, yeah? And then, okay, right. And that brings about this, not emphasis, but certainly an awareness, thank you, an awareness that there's new inspiration to be had. As much as you've been wanting to fixate and be protective on within a situation, to kind of covet what you already have, to kind of hold on to this experience that to others might be a secret, ultimately something new is here. Is it with the same person? Is it with the same exact circumstances? I don't know. That now has become a little blurry for me, because as much as I can feel that the Queen of Wands in some of your cases is another person, I'm not sure that it's the same person on either side of this situation, if that makes sense. There may have been someone at a previous point in your life, Cancer, that ticked the boxes and that had the personality that I described earlier, and now they're gone. And now going forward, you feel like, or for a time you felt like you would never find someone like that again, or that you would never make a connection with a person like that again, or you would never connect with that same person again, for those where it might be the same person. But for those where it's an external person and there's a chance this isn't the same, this person is so similar to the previous person. Like it's weird. Because again, that kind of draws me back to what I was saying here with that King of Wands, Danny Zuko, Rebel Without a Cause thing is, it's so hard to believe for other people, friends, family around you, that you have this very tough guy side, but then this very honest, caring, loving side. It's like, it's hard for people to see that these personalities types or personality traits exist in the same person. So maybe that is what's going on with the Queen of Cups. Maybe you're seeing that in them. Interesting. I don't know how I'm going to title this freaking video, because you guys are having, it's not a crazy reading, but it's very wispy. Like, what's this? It's very flowy. Everything is like intermingled. It's really weird. Now, again, the Ace of Wands is like that potential, that inspiration point, that springboard point, where we're realizing that all is not lost. Not everything that I've experienced has been for naught. Okay? There's something here that I can use to my benefit, that I can use to turn a situation around, or I can use to turn my frown upside down. Whatever you're trying to get away from the negative fixation or the downtrodden fixation and into sort of a more open and hopeful space. Definitely possible with that Ace of Wands there, because aces are always about potential, always about opportunity, always about starting anew and beginning from ground zero. And, you know, sky's the limit with the aces a lot of the times. In terms of wands, we're talking passion, we're talking creativity, we're talking physical activity as far as like new hobbies that you might have, all right? But it still anchors back, I feel, or excuse me, it doesn't anchor back, but I think it still reverberates back towards this Queen of Cups and this Chariot energy. And the Chariot's all about propulsion. The Chariot is all about moving forward. The Ace of Wands is definitely in that same boat. And in between, we have this tender, loving, caring energy that exists in you or exists in someone else. It's actually really beautiful, but I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, if I'm honest. Because again, this could be romantic, this could be friendship, this could be coworker, this could be all within your own personal experience. I can't really get a read on where your story begins and then somebody else is here, but then they leave and then they might come back, or somebody else comes back and they're so similar to that person, and it's just like all interwoven and wispy and kind of, I wish you could see it. It's like tendrils, it's like smoke or something that like blends into one another. It's really strange. Hopefully you understand it. Your outcome, there's the match. King of Cups. So we do have a match here. Queen of Cups is in the main, and then we have the King of Cups in the outcome. So that kind of makes sense, because I said this guy, King of Wands, is compassionate, but we wouldn't know it because his archetype isn't really, you know, heart forward all the time, or isn't very, you know, emotional all the time. He has emotions, he knows he does, but they don't always lead him. He's often led by his ego or his drive for success or pleasure or in the moment satisfaction. Yeah. And then we have this deeper, more sensitive quality with the Queen of Cups, and I said that they're connected, and I felt that they're very much in partnership with each other, but they're different suited. Now we get the King of Cups in your outcome. Here is where they blend. We've got this bearded guy, right, with a crown, similar to the very furry face of the King of Wands, but now in human form. And he brings in that watery, billowy, soft energy that we talked about with the Queen of Cups. Are you having a reunion within yourself? Are you having a reunion or a melding of energies with another person? I don't know. But the quality here is, I feel lighter. Like I had a little bit of weighted energy back here in the 4 cards that we talked about. A little bit here, but like progressively, progressively coming out of the depths of something, coming out of like this weighed down, boggy energy. I feel a lot freer, or a lot more capable, or able to express, or rather take into account what happened back here, why we were bogged down, why we felt shy or insecure about showing our sensitive side, and why we had to put the mask of the King of Wands forward in the time, in the moment. Yeah? This King of Cups is aware of his motivations. Aware of his motivations and his reasonings. Full awareness. Expressive? Maybe not. Not to begin with, maybe. But ultimately has self-awareness. If anybody knows the rhymes and the reasons, did I mention something about rhymes and reasons earlier? Maybe I did. Maybe that was another reading, I don't know. But the rhymes and the reasons, he is quite aware of them. I feel that's mostly going to be you. If not, again, you share this energy with someone. Or you could be watching someone else experience this Cancer. It's that type of general reading where this could have been, what's going on with Cancer's best friend. This. You're wondering, how come they're distant? How come they don't return my calls? Like I said, I think that was you. See? And that's the thing. I'm having like a hard time recalling what I said 10, 15, 20 minutes ago. I think I said, like, you want to be close with someone, you want to FaceTime, but then when they do FaceTime, you deny them. Or that's what's happening with you. Someone is dodging you. And you're like, why? This is kind of an insight into why. Whether that gave you clarity, whether that's, cleared things up for you, I don't know. But I think there's this issue with you or someone else or the both of you at the same time of having to project a certain image in order to protect yourself. What happens, deep down or behind closed doors. But then ultimately saying, I don't want to fake it. And I want there to be some type of honesty or some type of clarity, some type of forward facing, like facing the music kind of energy here. And I think the King of Cups can be capable of that. He certainly would be a lot more sensitive and caring about those types of discussions or those types of revelations than the other kings available, King of Pentacles, King of Swords, definitely more than both of them. So that tender energy is partnered with the capability and the ferocity and the nobility, strength. There we go. The strength of a king is matched and blended with this very sensitive and effusive thing coming from the queens. That's what I feel in this moment. That is not always what it is with the tarot, by the way, if you're new to tarot. Now, your overall energy concerning this entire situation is the Ten of Pentacles. So here we finally get a little bit of background as to what we might be talking about. Ten of Pentacles. Definitely for some of you, now that this is coming, the outcome is going to apply to your family life. Yeah, what that means to you, your immediate family, your extended family, just you and your brother, your sister, or just you and your husband. I don't know. But family, legacy, right? Traditionally, the Ten of Pentacles is talking about generational family. So kids, parents, grandparents, great-grands, nieces, nephews, all of it. Yeah. So the Ten of Pentacles also is interested in the longevity of a family structure. How we pass along traditions, how we pass along in terms of pentacles, things of value. So money, assets, possessions, property, things like that. Beyond those very traditional interpretations of the Ten of Pentacles, I feel for you, Cancer, this is really talking about what you want to see versus what you already have seen. So, and that might require some type of rewriting of history. So if before, this is just an example, if before in your life, Cancer, traditionally, historically speaking in your family, you've been estranged. Maybe you don't have a close relationship with your mom or your dad or both of them. And now you're a parent. And now you're experiencing this emptiness syndrome. Maybe your kid just graduated from college or just graduated from high school and is about to go to college, whatever. And now you just like want to make sure that those ties aren't broken or frayed like they were with your parents. Like there's this interest in reinventing, reestablishing, rewriting how family looks to me in my life. You know, if you were going to paint a family portrait right now, Cancer, you wouldn't paint a portrait of the life you grew up with as a kid in your life. You would paint what you want your kid's life to be like. Does that make sense? Like you're projecting your idea of what contentment and happiness and joy and fulfillment and feeling aligned and feeling that you're living with purpose in a family dynamic onto your kids. For good or for worse, that's what you're doing. This idea of legacy is not resting on your shoulders or resting on your happiness. You're placing it on the happiness and the contentment of your children or something like that, lineage wise. That's very interesting because the whole time I have felt this has been very general. I couldn't really aim in it. And that's the other thing. Family is a word that can be, played with here. If you're not close with any blood relatives, your family can be made up of friends. Your family is your chosen family. You know what I mean? Or if it's not your direct family, this could be even a friend of yours. They're going through a rough time. I want the wonderful experience I've had for me with the people I know and I care for that are my blood relatives. I want my friend to be able to have the same experience. So it doesn't have to be strictly you projecting onto your direct blood relatives. It can be, other people. All right? Cancer, that is your reading for August 2019. If you liked it, pardon me, there's a like button down below. Go ahead and hit that for me. You can leave comments down below. You can share this video across your social media platforms. And of course, you can subscribe if you have not already subscribed. Cancer, I will be back in a couple of weeks when I do the mid-August reading, so you have that to look forward to. I'm also going to be going live soon, probably next weekend for Leo. I did announce this in July, but I'm going to reiterate here just in case you missed the message. I will be doing lives now on my channel at least once a month for each of the zodiac signs in the particular birthday period. I started doing birthday messages with Leos last year, so this year I'm introducing this new content with them. I will do readings with them in a live session. It's open to everybody. Everybody can come in and chill and relax, but I will ultimately be doing readings for Leo only. So if you want to stop by and say hello, just hang out, you can. If you don't want to because it's not about you, that's totally cool. And you might be like, oh my God, that means that I won't be done. I won't get a live with you until 2020. Yeah, probably. I'm sorry. But that's what I've decided to do. So you can come and say hi if you choose to, or you can just, avoid it completely. It's all up to you. But regardless, I wanted to let people know ahead of time before I actually, the day comes. Okay. So there's hopefully no confusion. Okay. That is it. Cancer, I thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate you taking your time to be with me today. Take care. Bye.